Hello and welcome to another Your Partnerships Meet. I'm so happy I've got Jeremy or Jer and Ginny on the settee with me. So tell us who you are and what the business is. Let us see what I did there. Let us hear all about it.
Very good. I missed it. It was so good. I missed it because it was so good. It's wonderful to be here. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much
Yeah,
for
thanks, Rob.
inviting us on. So, Jer, you go. You introduce us.
This is the first time ever you've let me go, first of all.
Oh,
But I tell you, Rob, we were just chatting, weren't we, about dynamics, but we let them manage property. And we're life partners, we're business partners. And we've spent a long time on our property journey and we've built our own portfolio. We've let and managed our own portfolio. We've learnt from our lessons, but we're now supporting landlords with property in Mid Cornwall and generally busy landlords. But that's the crux of
and
our Cornish business.
and we were talking before we went on set and everything about the F's. Tell us about the F's and how that motivated you to get where you are now.
Well, I can do the F's if you like, because do you know, I, I think I think the crux of our business is really understanding the pain points for landlords, and we've been landlords for it's 30 years. That makes us officially dinosaurs, right?
I
Or
have no room to
experienced
talk.
and wise.
There we go. I like your
Thank
explanation
you.
better.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. But for us, everyone knows that property is a good investment. Do you know? And whether you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad or you've just been told by a family member, or do you know, it's the only asset that you can benefit twice from. So do you know you can benefit from the cash flow if you buy the right property,
Yep.
but also the value of that property on average doubles
Yep.
every 10 years. So for us, it was like, why wouldn't you do that? But then you start scaling the business and you get a second property and you're letting and managing that yourself. And the first F comes in, which is frustrating. And for us, do you know, I can remember that feeling of frustration. Do you know, we were young, we had young families, and we wanted to do the best. We knew that we could do the best, but we didn't have time. Do you know, we were also building this portfolio.
Yep.
So we established very quickly that there's one thing which is owning property, and then there's a second thing which is letting and managing.
Looking after it.
Yeah.
Maximising the profits, maximising the potential. And that's really hard when you're trying to build your portfolio at the same time. And we learned a lot.
Yeah. And I think we've become successful in our business because it was a hobby business where, do you know, we just wanted to make sure that our tenants were getting the best service that they could,
Yep.
and that our properties were compliant and kept safe. And also, do you know, I don't think it's a selfish thing, but actually we wanted to make sure that our properties kept up with appreciation.
Yep.
And that's 30-year journey. Now there's lots of regulations and staying on top of it. But when we were starting, it was like you were learning the ropes as you were going along.
Of course.
And by the way, with regulations, a lot of people are leaving the market because of regulations. Why? Every industry gets regulated.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's always going to be change. You just have to stay on top of those changes, don't you? I
Absolutely.
mean, you can't. If you're going to give up at the first hurdle, then why are you in the race?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And do you know, we specialise in HMOs and also single lets and family homes. Do you know, and that's what we cut our teeth on.
HMOs, in case somebody's listening and understand. I mean, it's a multiple
Occupancy.
Houses of
Yeah,
multiple occupation.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, where you take a house, do you know, you split it into and you let it out per room. And just out of interest, because I'm sure there's people watching out there that will think, oh, bed sits.
That's what they
and
think,
the
yeah.
1970, they're like hotels now.
Yeah.
And they're regulated more than any other property, more than short-term holiday lets, more than single lets, HMOs, the fire regulations, the room sizes. Well, they are very luxurious properties, and I wouldn't mind any of my family staying in HMOs. But yeah, for us, I think it was learning. We spent a long time refining our art, if you like, but there was that constant conflict of we want to build, but also we want to manage with quality.
Yep.
And I know with Ginny who's, you know, I'll be honest, is awesome on that operational side and has built an amazing team of people. But it's really important about the processes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And without good processes, that's when things fall down, and that's when you have complaints from landlords because they're not being listened to. It's when maintenance issues don't get dealt with, which obviously causes property to deteriorate, which is something that landlords really don't want. So, we work really hard at ensuring that maintenance issues are stayed on top of, so landlords are happy, tenants are happy because they're living in a home that they love and they want to be their home. So it's all about working with landlords to get great properties, for tenants to live in those great properties that are good tenants that are going to stay for a long time, and ensuring that the sort of the customer service from
Yes.
all angles is covered. And that's different to a lot of agents that we've worked with in the past.
So our website now, which I'm delighted to say is up and running now after a period of time.
Taken a while, but we're there.
Yeah, a lot of landlords come and said, is this like a theatrical thing that you're putting your website off and a little bit more on the big announcement? But a big thank you for Matt French, who, do you know, out of your network as
Yeah.
well, bro. Do you know,
Clever young guy, isn't he?
absolutely. And he has now come and finished that off. But one of the focuses, because I think landlords, it's all about property, but you've got to get great tenants, like Ginny
People,
said.
yeah.
It's people.
Yeah.
And one of our kind of mantras is making letting better than owning.
Yeah.
And we actually are tenants as well as landlords. Do you know, we have property around the country, but we rent now in a prime spot in Cornwall. And, do you know, we can actually see and understand from the tenant side. And it's not rocket science. You find good tenants.
Yep.
And you go through the credit and referencing. You go through and you make sure that their values line up. And you look after them and you put them in a property which is fit for purpose and stays compliant. They pay the rent on time. The landlord's happy.
Yep.
You're happy. It's a win-win-win, right?
Yeah, if you keep the property right, you have the right tenancy, then it's all smooth sailing. Well, till the ceiling falls in, but anyway.
Exactly.
But then we have processes in
You
place
have
to deal with.
You have to be ready
with
for
issues.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
you
course,
do,
of course.
because you're dealing with people, and you never
Well,
know. You never know what's going to come up.
No,
But
and yeah, anything you've got Mother Nature, you've got people, I mean, there's all sorts of variables. But
Of course,
but you
of
just
course.
have to be prepared, don't you?
I think where we've got to now, and we're a little longer in the tooth, as we talked about earlier on, but we've been through that journey of self-managing, getting to that place where we had probably 6 or 7, and we just done a conversion back in 2004 or 5, which had given us another 6 units quite quickly, and we were trying to do everything. That was the frustration, and I come back to that frustration of knowing we can do this job. But that was when we went to outsource, and we outsourced to, it wasn't a big corporate, it was a local agent. And yeah, it was an experience, and we learnt a lot from that. And I don't know, Ginny, if you want to say a bit about how.
No, I think it was seen as the perfect solution to the situation that we were in at that time. Like you said, frustrated and not being able to do everything, handing over to an agent because you think that's going to be the perfect
how did that go?
solution. But how did that go? And I think probably one of the key things is that it felt very much like a number. Spoke to someone different every time that you had a conversation.
People didn't get back,
People didn't
but
get
they
back.
said they were.
No, it's the customer service.
But it was the best. You couldn't have paid for that much value for what you have now, because it taught you what you didn't want your customers to feel.
That's exactly it, and that's where we got. I think we thought we can do this better, and I think the reason that we know we do a good job is because we have been landlords. We've been investors. Well, we are investors.
And those
tenants.
pain points, we can still feel them. It's like, okay, we're working so hard to build this portfolio, to get this financial freedom, but we were spending so much time on trying to do this.
Yep.
And it's all the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like when you're young and you're starting out, you've got this full-time job and you're trying to make a place in your employment. You've got the young family, you want to enjoy your money, but you want to make it as well. And there's a real balancing act, and there's a lot of balancing going on all the time. And you know, I didn't always get that right, but the experience with the letting agent, the bits that we really learned from was just one basics for any business is communication. Yep. If you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Do it, yeah.
And that's where because somebody else said to me, oh, yes, yeah, I've heard about this, and I've had the same experience with letting agents. What's going to make you any better? Well, I think that's a really good question. And the agents that we had 400 properties on their books. But if their systems have been robust enough, and we call systems software and tech, and the processes we call a list of tasks or actions. If those systems and processes are robust enough, and you get the right people in the right place, and you build your team, which I've got to say, Ginny is fantastic at doing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And that team is motivated and shares in that vision. Do you know that's going to be the difference?
Yep.
And when you've got two people that are at the top, and do you know the aim is to continue that, to grow that business. So even if we have 800 properties, you're still going to feel like, and you'll have one point of contact.
Yep.
It's getting the foundations right, isn't it? Before you scale, so you're not
Foundation-
scaling too quickly.
Foundations, processes, and repeat. Simple as that.
That's it. That's
Well,
it.
we're going to run out of time soon, but I want to make sure we get across. So if people have property they want to talk to you about managing for them,
Yes.
we'll have all your links on here so they can get a hold of it that way.
Brilliant.
And then what about, because Jeremy talked about investment, do you ever look at buying properties that you'll actually put in your portfolio as well? Is that something you do? Or
We'll continue to buy and
Sure.
build that portfolio.
Yeah.
But for us, we want to be the go-to brand in Cornwall. It's
Gotcha.
as simple as that, for knowledge, do you know, and also for a brand that's not going to overpromise, do you know, but we love to underpromise and overdeliver.
Yeah, you grow at the right level and the right speed and the right time, and there's nothing to stop you. It's I mean, how much is your stock in Woolworths worth nowadays? I mean, that's a classic example of overexpansion.
Yeah.
Not the only one. There's other brands that have done the same.
Of course.
But and ones that didn't change with the times, Blockbuster, you know. But I want to get into all that. But it's all those things. It's learning to ride the wave as it comes,
As it
so to
comes.
speak, and
Absolutely.
especially in Cornwall, right?
Yeah.
That's the one. Good
Yeah,
analogy.
absolutely.
So it's been great having you out here today.
Thank you.
And what do you think of corporate? You haven't been out to corporate media before. What do you think of that? What do you think of the studio?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been blown away.
Yeah,
absolutely
it's
blown
absolutely
away.
brilliant.
Do you know,
Brilliant facility.
This
yeah.
is like the icing on the cake and part of the network and the YP network now. For us, we've been involved for maybe 7 or 8 months. But do you know, the whole premise of networking, reciprocity and supporting other people for us has been so invaluable.
Yeah.
Not just for the leads that we've got, but the others that we've supported. And there's people out there that, do you know, we were talking about Vicky, do you know, who's supported now with some of the branding that we've got. And this is just the start. This is just the start.
It's just start.
Super exciting.
I know. Warren took Jeremy by the head, took him in a headlock to bring him in. So it's hard to envision Warren taking this big guy by the head.
It's a nasty bit of work, that one.
But he did say, "I'm going to get him in there. I'm going to get him in there."
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I know people have warmed to you, and I know that you know it's been amazing watching your journey so far, and I know it'll just keep going as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you for being on the set today. It's been
Pleasure,
wonderful.
Brock.
Jay behind the decks, thanks, thank you for taking care of us today,
Nice job.
and we'll see you soon.